My name is Zoe, and I'm from zostillmovingabout. Um, there was a bit, there was a bit of a problem with what I intended to do today, but that is totally my fault, not the guest's fault. Um, but he's coming. I thought it was gonna be tomorrow, but it's today. We'll talk about that later. Um, shooting. Jeff. Um, yes. Okay, just setting up stuff. Um, Sending the link. And I do have to check if this is working everywhere. Hello, hello. I do have to check. Yeah, it's all working. It's working. So yeah, so my mate Jeff lives in the US, and he basically ended up changing his life pretty nicely, I will say that. But let's wait for him to come, and then we'll have a conversation with him. I'm super excited about this because he is awesome. Sent. This is what happens when you are dealing with international guests, and sometimes it's their fault, but it's not their fault today. It's completely my fault. Dude lives in the US, and I assumed, like an idiot, that my Friday night will be his Thursday morning, which is ridiculous. My Friday night is his Friday morning, which means my Thursday night is his Thursday morning, which is what I had told him. And there was confusion there, and that's what happened. But we can't really do anything about that now. This will be a good podcast. It's a bit hurried, but it'll be a good podcast. While I'm waiting for him, aircon remote, that's always important. While we're waiting for Jeff, there is a funny story concerning me and Jeff. We were working as cooks together at Chili's 2 Bar and Grill in Clemson, South Carolina, in the US, while we were in college there together. And there was somebody who there was a prank call. And somebody was threatening me in that prank call. And it was really funny that, we kind of freaked out. And then when we left Chili's that night, we heard gunshots. And we all got really, really scared. And the funny thing is, they were not gunshots. There was some exhaust of a car going awry. But But yeah, we ran our asses off. So Jeff is here. He's already laughing at the story because he remembers. Um, and let's introduce Jeff. Jeff.
Good morning, man. Well, good morning for me. It's not good morning for you. It's actually
It's
what the time
evening.
there?
Yeah, that's I messed up on the times. That's completely my fault. Trust me, I take
No,
full
no,
responsibility.
no. It's all good, man. How have you been, sir?
Good, 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 good. I can't really hear you properly, and I have a feeling because of that, other people won't be able to hear you either. Do you want to check?
Let's see.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Is my voice too low or
Yes.
let's see.
Let me see if I can do something from here as well. Stereo input, auto gain, or if you continue, if can you say check 1 2 3 a few times? So I'll just check it on my phone. If it's
Check 1 2 3. Check. Check 1 2 3.
say that again, please. I think it's fine.
All right. What about now? Can you hear me now?
Say that again, please. I think it's fine.
All right. What about now?
Perfect. It's working fine everywhere. Cool. Thank you so much for coming. It's 5:41 a.m. and I know you have to leave by 6:45. You said we'll try to wrap this up before that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to
So
just kind
Jeff,
of lean.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm gonna have to just kind of lean in close to the computer, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me.
Yes, thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. Um, so I was telling him that story that we experienced outside of Chili's where we heard gunshots. Just to because I was waiting for you and I didn't know what else to say, so I just mentioned that. Uh, we were shit scared. I remember, but
Oh,
I want to give a brief history of you and I first. I sent you some notes as well, but I was hoping that you could like introduce yourself a bit before we start diving into the questions and the conversation.
oh, most definitely, most definitely. So, my name is Jeffrey Epps. Not sure how much you've already disclosed about me, but went to Clemson University. I met Zoe some years ago there when we were both working at Chili's on campus. Um, Majored in ag education, worked for the government for a little while doing some conservation work on farms, and recently have stepped into a new venture of personal training, boxing coaching, and life coaching. So, um, enjoying doing that, learning a lot about people, learning a lot about myself. So, it's been a pretty interesting journey.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I did not disclose anything except that dumb story that I could think of, to be honest. But no, thank you so much for your time. I did not know you were an early riser, which is pretty cool. I've tried doing that. I tried doing the whole Dwayne Johnson, routine. It is a killer, but it is really good to wake up early when you have to answer all these emails. So by like 6 o'clock, you're kind of done,
Yeah.
and everyone's catching up to the day when you've already like dove into it, right? And that obviously makes you feel good and helps you do a more decent job at least.
Yeah, man. So, and the unique thing about it, Zoe, is that being an early riser is not necessarily something that I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's me being aware of myself. Like, I read really slow. It takes me a while to fully comprehend things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed in order for me to be even at the same level or a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to work and life, I have to get
Yeah.
up early.
Okay.
Um, I have to start early, get up. I like to read, kind of get my mind in a good place before I start the day.
Yeah.
Maybe do some praying, some meditation, just kind of chill for a little bit. And then I have people that I personal train,
Mm-hmm.
so I go ahead and knock out those clients. But even when I was working for the government,
Yeah.
I would get up super early so I could, like you said, read emails, figure out what's going
Yeah.
on, catch up, and try to be a pretty decent, good supervisor.
Yeah, true, and it really, really helps. I mean, as of the start of this year, I don't have a job anymore. I'm working for myself. But last year, when I was working at a job, I started doing this 4:30, 5 o'clock thing where I used to go either for a swim or for a run early in the morning. And literally, when I had to go to work by 8, I did not have to spend that one full hour or 2 hours just catching up on emails, right? So everyone's going crazy, and I'm like just chilling. And I
Yeah,
was like, okay, well, I got this. I know what to do with this. And if they were, if I had to reply to people, I used to just schedule them on Gmail to go out at 8 a.m. or 8:10. And obviously some people had issues with that, but like it definitely worked well for me and the team I was working with. So I am an advocate of that, except that recently I cannot do that anymore. It's probably because of my lazy ass, no other reason, to be honest. But okay, so when I sent you the notes, you read the notes, and obviously they were for Friday, but which is why I say, oh, you can edit them whenever you want, and we'll talk about it. But are you good with how the notes go, so I can like talk about weight and stuff, or is there anything that you don't want me to mention at all? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, we lost Jeff for a second. Let's wait for him to come back. Let me message him. Oh, lost Jeff. Hopefully he's coming back soon. So yeah, this is the thing about rising early, right? You When you actually start doing it, it feels like a huge pain in the butt, but when you actually start getting stuff done, you realize how good it is for your own mental health. And I probably should start doing it again. Um, but it's something to look into. Oh yeah, so Jeff has just messaged me back. He's saying he lives in the mountains, so he's trying to boost the signal. So let's see what happens there. Um, and yeah, so when you actually start waking up in the mornings, you start getting stuff done. You have a fresher mind, and you start sleeping better as well. You start sleeping at 9 or 10 o'clock, which gives you a good, decent 6 to 7 hours of sleep every single day, and that is something that a lot of us don't do. Like I remember, I literally went through college. With like 4 to 5 hours of sleep every single day. So imagine doing that for 4 years throughout college, and you're working part time, you're studying, you have a full load of courses, and that was just completely awful. Obviously, I realize now it's not too late, and if you change your um, if you actually change your routine now, it's really not too late to actually look into it and see what you can do. Um, okay, we got Jeff back, so let's see if it works. Hey Jeff, all
What's
good?
going on, man?
Nothing. I was just talking to them about how I went through college with 4 to 5 to not 6, 4 to 5 hours of sleep and how awful that was. Uh, we have we have Hartomo who's saying, "Hey Jeff, I don't know if he knows you, but this is from Twitch."
Oh, tell Hartomo I said hello.
Okay, Hartomo can obviously hear you. What are the best things to do to change my life? So, are you still?
Uh,
Oh yeah. Okay, your signal's green again.
yeah.
So let me do the chat overlay as well for now. Um, just so you can see the questions. He's basically saying, you know, what are the best things to do to change my life? And obviously, the first one was, "Hey Jeff." Now, uh, what I did want to tell you, obviously you can see this, but the title of this video is "How to Change Your Life" featuring Jeff. I did this in a hurry. If there's a mistake, I'm sorry, but yeah. So we're gonna get these questions as well coming in from time to time, and feel free to answer now, or you can answer later.
Oh man, no, I want to jump on this right now, man. This is
Do
awesome.
it, do
Yeah.
it.
So one of the best things you can do to change your life is figure out your goals. Figure out what you want to do. That is going to be the best thing. And then find the necessary steps to get there. Don't think that you're above, how do I say this? Don't think that your goals make you unique to the situation. We all like think, well, I'm this special person where I don't have to carry out these steps to get to this goal, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. So take your time, figure out what you want to do, and then look at the steps to get there. Once you start putting those steps in, I love it. I love it. Right. So once you start putting your steps in, that's when you start to refine what works for you and what does not work for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that's what's going to bring out the uniqueness in who you are as an individual.
Yeah. I think I lost Jeff again. No, no, Jeff is
No,
still
I'm
here.
here. I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sometimes I just sit really, really still.
Fair enough. He's asking also, what if my goals are unique?
Well, again, start putting those steps in and start figuring out what works for you. You
Mm-hmm.
can always adjust. No two human beings are the same. We can grow up in the same household and have completely different perspectives and outlooks on life. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
whenever the questions come, we'll answer as they come. But so I was asking you before you went away for a short time. And do I talk about? Can I talk about my perspective on what I've seen of you, like from the
Yes,
Chili's
yes.
days, right?
Yeah.
So I remember you used to be this big guy, right? And
Yeah.
but you were really active. You were really active. You were really happy. You were always chilling. From the surface at least, because we were not that close. I think we were like work buddies more than close buddies outside of work. But from the surface, I never really saw you as a person who has issues. I'm talking physical issues. I'm not talking about mental at the moment. And over the years, it's been what? It's been like 15
15?
years.
Yeah,
Jeez,
15 years
jeez.
almost.
Yeah, it's been 15 years. And over those 15 years, I remember we somehow connected on Instagram and Facebook. And then I've just been seeing this transformation of your body. I've been seeing this transformation of your mental health, in the sense that I've seen how your kind of posts have changed.
Hmm.
They're more positive. They carry a certain outlook on life that I did not know you had when we were in college, right? And and so I've been seeing you do this, and obviously now you're doing very well. I chatted with you a couple of weeks back as well, and you have a program. You're doing consulting. So could you tell the audience a bit about, and me as well, about your journey from Chili's days to now?
Yes. Oh man, most definitely. So, like you said, I've always been a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm roughly about 6'3", 6'4", currently about 270 pounds, 265. But
Mm-hmm.
back then I was probably about 330.
Okay.
And I think what it was is there was a lot of embracing who I wanted to be and who I was created to be. We're
Mm-hmm.
all made uniquely different, but even though I was a big guy and I put on this show of being happy all the time, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't happy with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't like being big because I related it to doing something like I should be playing a sport, or I should be a pro athlete, or I should be doing something different with my life,
Yeah.
and not realizing that I was just uniquely me. Over the years, it did lead to some health issues of knee problems. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to lose some weight and just get in better shape, and I love it. I can run now. I can enjoy a lot more outdoor activity than I've ever been able to enjoy. Um, and again, like you said, back then it wasn't shown a lot, but there were some mental things going on as well.
Okay.
Um, I think that's why I was such a jolly person, is because I didn't want other people to feel the same way that I felt in life, like I didn't belong.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Mm-hmm.
like I wanted other people to be happy and know that, hey, it's okay, somebody's there for you. And I found comfort in talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
and getting them out of their comfort zone when I didn't feel comfortable being myself.
Okay.
So yeah, now I think it's switched over where I've realized I am okay. I'm happy with me. I love myself. I love me. And getting to help, there's a lot of people who are stuck where we as people will say things like we love ourselves, but then every day we make decisions that show that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the basis of me being a life coach, is helping people realize, if you do love yourself, those
Mm-hmm.
decisions you're making don't show it. The foods that we eat, the shows that we watch, not
Mm-hmm.
exercising our bodies. Um, I like to say that we as people, honestly, we're like big giant puppies. We need to be pet. We need to be walked. We need we need love, attention, and snuggles, and we need good food, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes we don't get those things, and when we don't get them, it doesn't make for the best version of ourselves. We seek those things either in unhealthy relationships, um, friendships that are probably need to end, or not the best friendships.
Mm-hmm.
We put bad foods in our body. And I'm not saying, get crazy and never eat a piece of cake. I love cake.
Mm-hmm.
um, but just being more consistent with the good things rather than the things that we don't need, it makes all the difference.
I mean, when you mentioned cake, I realized for some reason I just stopped liking cake.
No,
Um,
oh
I,
no, come on, man. Come on.
I
My
don't know. I don't know how this happened, but it honestly did happen. But now, and ice cream as well, by the way. So cake and ice cream, two of the best things in the world, right? Uh, I stopped liking it, but I do realize that when I stopped liking them, I felt a bit different. I felt less bloated, less full, and obviously they were it came at a weird point in life. I don't know exactly when it was, but I didn't feel any sugar cravings
mm,
during that. But now, when I do have something really sugary, I start feeling a bit off. Like, there's something wrong. Very similar to this is McDonald's Big Macs. So when I was in Pakistan a few years ago, like now about 10 years ago, um, I used to eat like 3, 4 Big Macs a night. right?
Whoa.
And I'm talking about like doubles or whatever, right? Like proper diet like that. Except now, if I have a Big Mac, I have half of it and I start getting the shakes. I'm not even joking. It's freaky. I start getting shakes, and I go like, this was just a bad idea. And
Yeah.
so, processed foods, things like that, obviously, if you remove those from your life, and this is a small part of what you just mentioned, right? You talked about relationships, you talked about friendships, and yeah, we spoil ourselves. I think we know something's wrong for us, and then we still go for it.
Yeah.
And this applies to everything throughout the spectrum. That's
Oh,
interesting.
most definitely, man. It's so funny that you said that because, like you said, if you apply that same principle to
Mm-hmm.
like what you read, what you look at,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's the same thing. Like you clear your mind, you clear your headspace,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you put something negative in it or something that's just not good for it, and
Yeah.
you almost instantly know this is not good for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
And then there's this one tiny point that comes in, I feel, and I think this happens a lot with drinking, that there comes a point where you go like, okay, if I have one more, I'm fucked. But and if you don't, you can go home easy, right? I've seen people do this on a daily basis, and I think the same thing comes with a movie, for example. Now, I'm a huge horror movie buff, right? But if I want a peaceful night, a horror movie is not the way to go. uh, but like, if you end up watching it, sorry, when you're making the decision of watching a horror movie or a normal one, that's the point where you go like, okay, should I go right, should I go left? And I
Right.
think this comes with relationships as well, food, alcohol, basically everything, I guess. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you. I wanted to ask you about, you've already mentioned this a bit, but the contrast between your old life and your new life in terms of activities. So you have mentioned the activities of your past life, right? Where you had issues and you wanted to do better, but you technically didn't, right, at that point. Um, so journey happens in your life now. Could you talk a bit about that? What you do now?
So physically or
Up to you. Whatever you
all right.
do. Yeah.
So we'll start physically. So I
Mm-hmm.
grew up playing football, big guy. Um, I did a lot of outdoor activities. I ended up injuring my knee my
Mm-hmm.
second year of college.
Okay.
And I think that was definitely a big turning point in my life where I had this knee injury and I had a few choices. I could keep moving around, keep exercising, keep running, keep playing, or I could just become completely stationary. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I continued to run and exercise and keep playing and keep moving, but it was very painful at times.
Okay.
The it caused some injuries or some issues now that I'm actually working through with
Yeah.
my hips. Um, but for the most part, I'm still able to do everything that I want to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually, into running a little bit. So I run maybe about 2 or 3 times a week now. Nothing crazy, a mile and a half, 2 miles tops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to hate running long distance, but I've grown to have an appreciation for it.
Okay.
Um, as far as personal life and mentally, I think the biggest thing is that I learn more about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I think the way that I think? Believe what I believe. I've become more curious about others when it comes to conversations instead of being, and I don't think I ever was offended when people had differences of opinions, but just
Mm-hmm.
asking, oh, why does this person believe what they believe? Why do they perceive what they perceive?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think what this does is it does satisfy that knack of being a coach, but sometimes I have to learn how to turn that off. you
True.
know?
That is true,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Got it. What do you Dude, sorry. Could you talk about your schedule, like your daily schedule? What
Ah,
you do
yes.
from the time you wake up to the time you sleep, just generally.
Okay, yeah. So my daily schedule, usually I get up somewhere around 5 to 5:15 every morning.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do some type of reading, praying, meditation, just kind of sit and be quiet for a little bit with a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Usually I am out of the door by 5:45, 6 o'clock. I have my first personal training client that I work with for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have anything to do after that, I'll get my workout in.
Mm-hmm.
From there, now that I'm moved into the role of life coaching, I'm learning how to be a content creator or just doing more research on the different topics that I want to teach about. This week, one of the things that I'm targeting is learning how to be assertive versus being aggressive.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's,
Don't be aggressive to your client. That'll be a scary sight to see.
yeah. So, and
Continue,
and that's
please.
the thing, learning what that looks like. Assertiveness means being able to state your opinion and respecting someone else's position versus aggression
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes comes with a level of disrespect, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. I'll get some food at some point in time in the day, sometime around lunch. And then usually I do a few personal training clients in the afternoon
Mm-hmm.
and I teach a CrossFit class or a functional fitness class, and I teach boxing at night. So
Okay.
yeah,
How
and
did
then
you? Sorry. Continue. Continue.
yeah, I spend time and then have some date nights with my fiance. So
It's awesome. Could you talk about how you actually got into this role of being a life coach? Like the progression that you have had, whatever you were doing before to now.
yeah, so I think in a roundabout way, we're all life coaches to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
We're all talking to people, we're all having conversations with people. We're always kind of trying to give our opinion or teach others.
Mm-hmm.
You see someone doing something and you're like, dude, you know that's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
But I think what ended up happening, I guess we can blame it on COVID when everything shut down and I had to become still. I was like, what in the world do I do now? I
True.
stumbled across these courses, and I've always been interested in the brain, philosophy, how the brain works, how the brain thinks, how we
Okay.
learn. That's always been something that I found interesting, and I stumbled across some courses, and they were cheap, and I was like, this is too cheap. It's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know what? It is what it is. If it's too cheap, then whatever. And I start working through these things, and it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty neat. It was pretty legit. So I actually have about five more courses that I have to work through. One currently is a neurolinguistics practitioner, and then one
I don't know what
is
that is, but cool.
okay. Neurolinguistics is the constant speech that we have going on in our brains, how we
Okay.
talk to ourselves. What are you telling yourself on a day to day basis, right? Because how you talk to yourself is going to determine how you go out and act in the world.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then I have one on behavioral psychology. Um, so yeah, they all kind of intertwine together, and they will all be used to help me become a better life coach.
Got it. So,
Yeah.
like, when you mentioned, that obviously this is how you started, COVID being one of the reasons, but it just seems that none of us have too much time to do that, to basically step back and go like, okay, this is how we need to deal with shit. I literally have a friend of mine messaged me this evening saying that I've had a rough day. It's getting worse because my boss asked for this, and now they're asking for another thing, and blah blah. So I'm frustrated, and I had an argument with a friend of mine, and all these things happening, and it just piled up on the messages, and I just went like, just take a deep breath and try to clear your head. If people actually do this properly, like do a proper Wim Hof method, try kind of breath situation or something, it might really help. But I personally don't think I would be able to clear my head. It's just kind of a bullshit thing to say to a friend when they're in trouble. But obviously you have decided to take this on as a profession as well. So how do you actually step back and understand what is happening? When do you know that you have to step back before it can attack you?
Ooh, man, that's good. That's a good
Sorry.
one. No, man, I love it. I love it. So, like you said, telling someone to take a step back, a breather, it's such a cliche and the instant go to. But what's the worst thing you can do for someone who's having an anxiety attack? Tell them to calm down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, essentially, our brains, our bodies, our mentality is the exact same way. The way that I have found to learn how to take a step back is often after I've put my foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes after
When
I've said
everything blows up in
something.
your face, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the best way to start is not just make space for it, but
Mm-hmm.
reflection.
Okay.
Reflection is very important. Take 5 minutes at the end of the day to start for, 5 to 6 weeks and just, man, how did my day go? Why did I feel this way? What was going on with me? What was going on with that person? Um, Journaling at the end of a day has been very beneficial. Um, that will set you up to make a choice
Mm-hmm.
because then you can say, well, do I want to be proactive and not let these things happen to me again? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it starts with a little bit of reflection before those things happen. And then that's usually where I come in as a coach, where most people say, okay, I've been reflecting. I see I have these issues. I just don't know how to navigate through them yet. And then giving them the tools to kind of say, okay, in that 5 minutes where you're taking a breather or taking a break, what is your thought process? What are you thinking about yourself? What are you thinking about the other person?
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about that situation? And that automatically, I hired a coach to teach me how to coach. So that automatically, what he calls it, brings the temperature down. So you kind of,
Yeah. Got it.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah. Go ahead.
well, and I think, like I said, the biggest thing is being patient with yourself too. Don't automatically think that the moment you start doing this, you're going to be a professional at it, or it's just automatically going to come easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like anything else in your life, it takes practice. And these are things that I have to practice. Even as a coach, I have to keep working on them.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Thank you for that. Um,
yep.
I'm out of questions. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, there's a communications expert and slash life coach who's based in Phuket. So I met her in Phuket, and she was on stream a few days ago, last week, and she mentioned journaling as well. So every single person I've talked to mentions journaling. My psychologist, who I talk to from time to time, once a month if possible, also mentions journaling. And at some point when I did it, it really helped. I honestly changed my life entirely, except that I don't do it anymore. And I think consistency is key on almost every aspect of life, and it is just the most annoying thing because it actually works, but it's a lot of hard work, and we don't want to do hard work, right? You're
Mm.
talking about learning how to be a content creator. In the same way, if I do these kind of videos every single day, I'll be famous in no time. I'll be making big bucks, but I don't do it. So I do like 2 sessions, 2 podcasts in 1 week, and I'm super happy. And then I just fuck off for like 3 months, and then I come back later and I was like, oh, I need to do this again. So consistency, I feel, is key for mental health and physical health as well, in terms of
Oh,
exercise as well, right?
oh yeah.
So I was going through your Instagram, and I wanted you to talk a bit about what you are doing officially. There's a company that you, I don't want to say represent, but you have the link here. I am first form
Ah,
and
yes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
I won't ask you for commissions, don't worry. But I wanted you to talk about like how this basically helps, and firstly what actually it is, because I would like everybody to know that first.
Oh, most definitely. So, I'm gonna plug two
Do
things here.
it.
Yeah, man. So First Form is a supplement nutrition company, and
Okay.
they have amazing supplements. I am what is called a Legionnaire kind of brand ambassador type deal.
Mm.
So essentially, you can come through me and get First Form supplements. I use the supplements myself. They have protein powders, creatine, multivitamins. Um, Different types of things like that that just kind of help with your general wellness, making sure you're getting the right amount of nutrients on a daily basis.
Okay.
Um, we also carry these same supplements at the current gym that I work at my gym, Kavod Fitness. So I
Okay.
do workout programs. I teach boxing there. We have First Form supplements, so it's kind of meshed all together, man. So it's pretty
Okay.
cool and it's pretty unique.
Okay.
Um, they just came out with a new protein.
Uh-oh. We're losing him.
Yep. Did you lose me?
Sorry. Yeah, yeah. They just came out with, that was the last thing you said.
Oh, they just came out with a red velvet cake flavor. So if you like cake and you don't want the extra calories, man, snag this protein, make you some pancakes with it. It's
Uh-huh.
amazing. Yeah, it's
Interesting. And
amazing.
is this available outside of the states? Outside of North
Yes.
Carolina first, or
No, no. So the company is based in the States, but you can order them offline. If you go to my link, you can order them through my
mm-hmm.
link. So yeah, they ship worldwide.
Okay, cool. I would love for you to send me your socials and links to these things. If I don't know if somebody uses your link and you get something off of it, or they get a discount, something like that. So I'll post all of that whenever you send it to me. Um, Anytime today, tomorrow, next week. That's up to you.
All right.
But I wanted to ask you something about nutrition in general. Like, I try to eat really clean, and Pakistani food is not it. But I'm a pretty good cook. So from time to time, I cook with olive oil, light olive oil, stuff like that. And my plates, my portion sizes used to be a big plate, and then another big plate, and then another big plate. This is what I used to do. So you don't know this about me. I was going through some stuff back home 7, 8 years ago, and I had lost a lot of weight, and I was about 45 kilos. And it sounds like a fake story, but 2 years in Thailand, I cooked for myself so many times and ate like crazy. I went all the way up to 80, and like 80 kilos. I don't know how many pounds that is. And I realized that I need to cut down on portion sizes. I'm going to kill myself. Like, I couldn't breathe properly anymore. It was that bad, and I was that
Mm.
quick of a progression of weight, right? But as I lowered portion sizes and stuff, I realized that okay, I don't feel hungry all the time anymore. I feel light. I'm active. I'm doing stuff, and that really helps. But every time I've taken supplements, I'm not talking about yours, of course, but every time I've taken some basic supplements, they've always helped, right? So a lot of my other friends, they don't do supplements at all, and they do like, for vitamin C, they'll have citrus fruits and stuff. So what is your take on that in terms of, can supplements completely, well, I kind of know the answer to this, but can supplements completely replace things like fruit, or those all those things need to go hand in hand as well?
So the answer to that is absolutely not.
Mhm.
Um, what supplements do mainly is they help you fill in the gaps. Most of us don't get enough nutrition on a day to day basis with
Mhm.
what's called our micronutrients. So you can get your proteins, your fats, your carbs from basically eating chicken, breads, rices, avocado oils, those different types of things, getting good
Mhm.
healthy fats. The
Okay.
problem is your body does not absorb those things without the proper micronutrients. Those are
Mhm.
the things that you're going to get from your vitamins, your fruits, your vegetables, um, maybe some kind of trace nutrients. And that's where a good multivitamin comes in. I take this thing called Opti Red and Opti Greens, which
Okay.
one is kind of like a beet powder with good fruit mixed into it.
Okay.
The other one, the greens, is it's the best way to explain it is kind of like a spinach powder with spirilla, and just has a lot of different types of micronutrients that you would get from eating green vegetables.
Okay.
The thing is, in most cases, if you ate the way that you were supposed to eat, you
Mhm.
definitely would spend all day eating, and you would be
Yes.
eating massive amounts of like spinach. You'd be eating, I think the daily serving for fruits and vegetables is like seven servings or something. That's a lot, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
That's a lot. So yeah, supplements help you fill in the gaps. Um, so that if you're eating a piece of fruit or a vegetable a day,
Yeah.
maybe you're getting more servings now with that added supplement that you've put into your
Okay.
diet.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. And that's something that you've been doing for a while now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I try to be as consistent as I can with that. I'll try to do a protein shake after my workouts for muscle repair, and then I try to take my multivitamins almost every single day.
Okay.
Um, Another one is fish oil. Getting good healthy fats from your fish oil helps with your joints, helps with your hair,
Mhm.
um, helps with your eyesight, all of those things.
Okay, got it. Um, I want to refer to the title of this video. It says "How to Change Your Life," and I'm just wondering, like, while I was doing a little bit of research on you, um, of your gym and everything, there are all these photos that it says the first step into the gym is the hardest, which I completely agree with. You literally have to lie to yourself all the way till you go to the gym. My gym is downstairs in my building on the sixth floor, and I don't go. Imagine that shit. But every time I do go, though, I realize that I'm having a much better day, and I go for like 3 4 days straight and then I quit again for a couple of weeks. And I wanted to ask you, how would a person who's watching this begin to change their life? You can go with physically first, and then we can talk about how that might also affect mental health.
All right. So, man, this is good stuff. Few key things: be consistent, but start small. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Listening, you said that you go 2 or 3 to 4 days in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I would suggest is letting those 4 days go every other day. That
Okay.
way, once you, let's say, most people when they want to get in shape or when they want to start something, I call it, they come out the gate too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Do all of it right now. I
Yeah.
just want to see. and then all of a sudden they don't see results, right? And it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Taking your time, being consistent, realizing, and I think this is where we have truthful with ourselves, is going to take time. And that's something we can't control. But we have to keep up each
Mm-hmm.
moment, set a schedule. And you don't have to start with an hour, hour and a half. Start with 30 minutes. If I can make
Okay.
it to the gym for 30 minutes, 4 days a week, that's good. And then as you start to build that relationship with the gym, just like anything else in life, you want more, you hunger for more. And then
Mm-hmm.
your goals may change. You'll start to see that your body changes. You'll start to see that your want to changes. So yeah, start small, be consistent.
Okay, I would like to add something to this. I also send that link to you. There was this podcast. Um, I think it was with Joe Rogan. I'm not sure. It was this wrestler, this really skinny wrestler, and he basically was. It was a 20-minute podcast on how people mess up in gyms,
Mm-hmm.
during exercise and stuff. And he basically mentioned that you see all these people who go like lift weights until you can't do anymore. What's it called? Till
Fatigue.
Yeah, right? Till you're fatigued, till you can't lift anymore. There's another term, but I can't remember it right now. And so basically, for example, if I'm doing bench presses, I do it till I can't, till somebody will have to lift the barbell off of me, right? And he's like, these people, whenever they're doing this, they need like a couple of days of rest after every single time they do this. And when that happens, you end up maybe in an entire year, you end up working out maybe 250, 260 days out of 365, right? Excuse me. But he's like, instead, why don't you do literally 10, 15 minutes of exercise every single day? And if you do that, then at least you have worked out more than these people, and it's not going to constantly give you fatigue. It's not going to mess with your muscles, not going to tear anything. And he's like, this is something that I try to tell, the people I work with, that they should do this instead of going crazy. And obviously consistency is really huge in that, because if you're going every single day, you're going every single day. But I
Yes.
did this for 6 months. I remember, and it really really helped me, because I was much more energetic than I ever was. I was sleeping better. I was pooping better. I was more active. I was doing a lot of activities then that I wasn't doing before that. So just wanted to add that. I'll try to put the link on this stream as well eventually, so people can watch it. I think it's really an interesting concept. Um,
Oh yeah.
but coming to the mental side of this, when I was doing this 365-day program, which I did for 6 months, it really affected my mental health in a good way as well. It's like 15-20 minutes every day, I felt constantly accomplished. And I remember I wasn't doing too well at my job. I had a shitty boss back then or something like that. And it was just always, I was always disturbed. But that 20 minute workout every single day after work always put me in a good mood, and I wanted to go out then. And I wanted your opinion on that as well, your take on, how this affects mental health.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing, man. There's so many different things that we can do now with technology to help us improve our mental health.
Mm-hmm.
We have apps on our phone where we can set times for meditation. We can
Mm-hmm.
set times for prayer. We can set times to read books now.
Mm-hmm.
So using those things for that benefit has been very, very good with me. I have an app on my phone called Head. I think it's I'll have to send you the link, but it's called Headstrong or Headspace. But
Mm-hmm.
even when I'm doing something as simple as cleaning the gym at night and closing down the gym,
Yeah.
If I'm there completely by myself, it takes me 15, 20 minutes to close down the gym. I can
Mm-hmm.
actually listen to a book in 15, 20 minutes. So realizing that one of the things that we as people like to say is, I don't have time. I don't have time. The truth is, you're not utilizing the time that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's a hard truth to hear. But there's always 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes to just kind of take it back, reassess, hear what your brain is telling you, hear what your
Yeah.
body is telling you, and then ask yourself, do I believe these things? Right? Because that's the main thing you have to ask. The reason we get upset is because you don't believe it, but you're still telling yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True. I mean, something came up in my mind while you were talking about listening to an ebook. So I was listening to this book, but narrated by this one guy and David Goggins. The book was by David Goggins, and that guy's a monster. He's a beast. But
Yes.
I'm a huge fan, to be honest. But I was listening to it all the time, like when I'm going to work, when I'm exercising, when I'm at the gym, like just constantly, constantly, constantly doing that. But there came a point where I was exhausted because he's too much of a hard ass, one. But
Yeah.
second, it's the same kind of content and it's just constantly being drilled in your head. And I just want to ask, like, it kind of feels like a rat race sometimes, that you're just trying to fill every quiet moment with a book or with music or things like that. What do you think about that?
I completely agree, because sometimes we get into this hustle mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You have to find your balance. Sometimes you just have to switch it off. you
Yeah.
know, I am a big proponent of, I grind, I work hard during the week. On the
Mm-hmm.
weekends, sometimes I like to just veg out on Netflix.
Okay.
And that's okay for me. Yeah. So going back,
Yeah.
we have to find off switches that aren't detrimental to our physical and mental health.
Okay.
That's the main thing. It is okay to have an off switch. It is okay to say, hey, I'm going to sit on this couch and do absolutely nothing. I am going to go visit family and just kind of relax. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go for a hike. I
Mm-hmm.
think at some point, what happens is we listen to all of these things, but we don't apply any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the application part is key, and you find what works for you. You don't keep jumping on the bandwagon. Well, this person did this, so I'm gonna do this, and then this person's doing that, so I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna add this. Too much. It's
But
too much.
but how would you recognize that is getting too much, getting to be too much for you? How would you recognize that? Because me personally, when I'm in this kind of zone, I don't recognize it until I've exhausted my resources, my thought process, and then I go like, okay, now I'm just gonna listen to some music, and I do that for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
So so just asking, how do you actually recognize that it's about to happen, so you can switch off?
So I think that's where the journaling and the reflection comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing, okay, I did this, I was going really, really well, and then I hit a wall. What happened? Did I bite off more than I could chew?
Mm-hmm.
And that just takes, I think at that point, that is where a coach will come into play. And think about a coach training an athlete. That
Mm-hmm.
athlete knows what it takes to be great. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that athlete space of like, I just gotta go, I gotta do, I gotta do, I gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's where that coach says, hey, you gotta dial it back. if you don't dial it back, you're going to injure yourself. You're going to burn out. You're going to get
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. You're going to, you're going
Okay.
to get to that point. I think it is okay for us to have people in our lives that hold us to a certain level of accountability, of even rest, you know,
True.
having those people speak into your life and say, "Hey, you're doing a lot right now. Dial it back a little bit. It's okay." You know, um, learning to celebrate small wins will help with that.
Gratitude.
So, yeah, I think that's a good
Right.
one that we don't do as people often. We hit milestones constantly, and instead of
Mm-hmm.
looking for that next one, reflect. Man, I just hit a goal. It wasn't a big one, but I'm going to celebrate this win. I'm going to take myself to dinner. I'm going to enjoy a movie night and just kind of sit in it for a moment. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. And that's a delicate thing. Sometimes you don't know until you actually get it out or you hit that wall.
True. I agree. There's so much information here, and there's so much I want to talk about. But I know you'll have to go soon, and that's just maximum 10 minutes. So I'm gonna start winding down. But I will say this, that if we could do sessions, similar sessions like these, if this is something you would like as well, obviously, then I would really like you to be part of it. I'm trying to create a schedule, which I'm horrible at, but like a weekly schedule where I go like, okay, I do a live stream outside somewhere, some location. I do a live stream here talking about news, and a kind of a travel show and different. I should probably not give all my ideas out, but one thing is like talking to people like you who uh, can actually help people. And like, if I come up with good enough topics and questions, and it's just a back and forth, and I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, someone would be like, okay, this actually helped, and at the end of the day, we're all about that, right? It
Oh yeah.
doesn't take long, but yeah, if that's something that you would be interested in, do let me know. We'll connect later as well. But at the very end, I wanted to ask you to talk about what how people can follow what you do or avail your services. This is the winding down part, so feel
Okay.
free to do that. Yeah.
Oh man. So man, first and foremost, I definitely want to say thank you and I appreciate you for having me on. Um, but yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I have two accounts. One is inspired, and that is the letter Nspired. Two, the number two, achieve. That one is mainly my workout page. You see a lot of fitness, nutrition advice on that page. And
Mm-hmm.
then for life coaching, you can hit me up on Inspired. Again, the letter Nspired underscore coaching. And there, I have tips on life coaching, some different things that you guys can implement, some tangible steps on just, there you go.
I'm trying to
Basic
go fancy
things.
there, so forgive me that.
I love it. I love it. Some basic things on just resetting your mind, changing your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to give you guys just three basic things on just how to increase your confidence. Simple things. One of the things is just like walking with an upright posture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I would say to increase your confidence is a lot of people, may think this is but wear clothes that make you look and feel good, right? That's a big thing. Like if I'm and I take this back to when I was in middle school. I was a nerdy looking little kid with these high water pants jacked up, and my shirt was all tucked in, and I wasn't confident in myself because I didn't like the way that I feel in my
Yeah.
clothes. You
Yeah.
know, and then another way to just be confident is just take your time and just embrace who you are, and realizing that you can always change certain things. I think that's the biggest thing. You can change certain things. You don't have to accept the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, follow me on Instagram. Reach out to me. Um, free consultations. If you're looking to do some life coaching, we'll
Mm-hmm.
do a 30-minute consultation. Kind of identify some things that you feel like you want to change or
Mm-hmm.
move into, so on your areas of your life, and then we'll get rocking and rolling, man.
Fair enough. Thank you so much. I was when you hadn't joined earlier. I was talking about how it's never too late to change, and that is it's not a cultural issue. I used to think it's only Pakistanis and Indians, like Asians in general, but it's all over the world that people think that, okay, I'm too old for this. I'm too old and I can't change myself now, because what's the use anymore, right? And
Right.
that's always something I do tell people now, that it is definitely not too late to change. Just tweak a few things, if that, to actually fix your life a little bit. um, uh, the There's just one final thing. What would you like to say um, as a final, giveaway from everything? But before that, I would like to say thank you so much for coming, and thank you for your time. And if people who are watching, if you guys are interested in these kind of shows, these podcasts, please subscribe to the channel, and log in, get connected with Jeff at Inspire to Achieve on Instagram, and you'll see his other links as well. So this is on you now. After this,
Yeah.
I'll shut it. Please, any final words for the audience before we leave?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of something just whoa
Eat
wildly.
cake.
I will say this, and this maybe will. I don't want to go too far. I'm working on a project right now, and one of the thoughts that I've had is that the future belongs to those who know their past yet have a vision for tomorrow.
God damn.
Yeah,
that's that's heavy.
yeah.
That's a good
So
line. Okay,
yeah,
got it. Is that it?
that's it. That's all I
Holy
got.
shit. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming, man. This was fantastic. And I'll keep in touch, and we'll hopefully do this soon. Thank you, people, for watching, and take care of yourselves, and get connected with Jeff if you want to change your life. Bye bye.
Appreciate it, man.
Cheers.